Hi there, welcome to our guided experience for the Oolong tea number 1. But before we begin, let's take a moment. Make yourself comfortable and try to relax. Whether you're about to enjoy this tea by yourself, with company, in the morning, or after the sunset, we hope this experience can help rest and recharge your mind. In 1857, the term Oolong was first used to describe a tea in the text of miscellaneous notes on Fujian. In Chinese, Oolong can be directly translated to dark dragon, but people from Fujian call them Qingcha or darker green teas. This is mostly because Oolong's oxidation level is halfway between those of the green and the red teas. There are a few interesting facts about Fujian. First, it's located at the southeastern coast of China, a land that is said to be 80% mountains, 10% water, and the rest farmland. Fujian was also the starting point of the maritime Silk Road and the most renowned tea capital of China, home to some of the world's finest tea like Da Hong Pao, Silver Needle, and the Ro Gui, etc. This tea you're drinking right now is perhaps one of the most popular and the most famous Oolong tea coming out of Fujian. Other than known as Oolong number 1, it's also known as Tie Guanyin. Tie means iron, and Guanyin means to perceive every voice of this world. It's the name given to the Buddha of compassion. There are numerous stories out there that try to explain the origin of this name, and I picked the one I like the most to share with you here. Somewhere in Fujian, there was this rundown temple which had an iron statue of Guanyin, the Buddha of compassion. One day, on the walk to the tea fields, a farmer named Wei would pass by and reflect on the temple's deteriorated conditions. Something has to be done, he thought. But unfortunately, Wei did not have the resource to repair the temple by himself. So one day, he brought a broom and some incense from his house to the temple. He swept the floor clean and lit the incense as offering to the Buddha. It's the most I can do, he thought to himself. And he did this every 2 weeks for months. And one night, Wei had a dream about Guanyin. In his dream, Guanyin told him about a cave behind the temple where a hidden treasure awaits. So on the next day, he went back to the temple and found the cave. And inside the cave, there was this tea plant growing from the crack between the rocks. He carefully transplanted the tea plant to his tea field and nurtured it into a large bush, from which the most famous Oolong tea was harvested. He gave cuttings of this tea plant to all of his neighbors, and they began selling them under the name Tie Guanyin. Over time, the village prospered, and the rundown temple was repaired. This can sound a little counterintuitive, but to slow down with tea, you first need to forget about slow down altogether. Instead, try to direct your full attention to the drink in your cup. If you're having trouble focusing, try close your eyes and take a deep breath before each sip. Try to feel the warmth of the cup and how that warmth is traveling through your palms. Bring the drink to your nose, take a gentle inhale, and try to feel the aroma enter your body. Take a small sip, savoring the tea in your mouth for a second before swallowing. Concentrating your mind on how the hot tea swells around your mouth. Does the tea taste fruity, floral, or grassy? Keep your awareness on the inside of your mouth and your palate. Think of the warmth that's flowing through your body. Now, try to let go of any stress or tension on your mind and in your body. Try to let go of the need to overanalyze and the need to think. Embrace the feelings from drinking this tea alone. This tea carries the intense floral notes, with the drying sensation on one hand and the cooling sensation on the other. Commonly used terms are sweet orchid, rose, osmanthus flowers, and peach. To create this tea, the farmers have to patiently wait until the buds on the tea plant have opened and thickened, for that thicker tea leaves are more likely to be able to withstand the intense handlings required later on. Then, the leaves are typically withered outdoor in the sun until they're partially bruised. But what truly differentiates the making of a oolong from every other tea is its oxidation process, or, as our tea master likes to call it, the dance of life and death. Once the tea leaves have lost the desired amount of moisture content, they're then transferred into a rotating bamboo barrel, where the tea leaves are intentionally fluffed and tossed to be softened. This process, otherwise known as shit grain, it helps break down the cell walls for better infusion and allow for oxidation to kick off. But most importantly, it can revive the withered leaves by driving out moisture out of the stem to distribute evenly throughout the tea leaves. In that entire time, the tea makers have to directly guide the process by listening as the aroma changes, fluffing the leaves to drive out moisture and bring out deeper aromas, then resting them to allow the moisture to evaporate and the aromatics to settle back into the leaves, again and again, usually over about 16 hours of straight labor. This back and forth movement of enzymes and moisture within the leaves and the resulting reaction with the air is what creates the defining characteristics of a true oolong tea. Once the desired level of oxidation has been reached, the leaves are heated at a high temperature to denature the enzymes, therefore ending the oxidation process at large. The tea makers then wrap the tea leaves in cloth and knead them into this signature ball-shaped look by hands. This typically goes on for hours as well. As the mass of the tea leaves is broken apart, the tea makers proceed into the final stage of this process, where the leaves are baked in a large oven over charcoal at 320 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius to dry and lock in the intense aroma and flavors. After the initial baking, the leaves are left to rest, sometime between a month or two, as this allows the tea to acquire extra complexities through their surroundings. The leaves are then baked the second time, this time at 518 degrees Fahrenheit or 270 degrees Celsius, to finalize their flavors and to enhance their complexities. Only then, this oolong tea is made. Towards the end of this recording, I would like to take a moment to just say how glad I am to be a part of your tea experience. We spent nearly a year building Good Slow, from finding the best teas to designing a meaningful slowdown experience down to every pot and the website page. We started these projects because, like many people, hustling is so ingrained in our values that we rarely think of otherwise. We feel guilty even if we just spend a few minutes not doing anything. And we're constantly driven driven by the need to fill our lives with more works and more hustles. On the one hand, works help us find meanings, and they help us measure our success. But this endless hustling mentalities can also be extremely exhausting and detrimental to our well-being, both physically and mentally. Not to mention the thriving attention economy, the endless browsing, scrolling, and tapping, when we all know very well that no amount of information can ever fulfill our insatiable minds. Our goal here is to create an experience that can take your mind away from all of that, and to focus on the experience of drinking and enjoying something as simple as a cup of tea.